Why are elections in Turkey so important? They are very important because the government of Turkey seems to be going through a delicate moment. For the first time in 16 years, Erdogan, who has consistently won every election, faces a major challenge. To try to stay in power, he formed an alliance with an ultra-nationalist party, the MHP, but the opposition also joined and created the National Alliance to try to defeat Erdogan. Turkey's proximity to the Bosphorus and Dardanelles Straits and access to the Black Sea spice up the situation, as this region is dear to Russia's conflict with Ukraine. But let's understand a little about Turkey's insertion in the world security agenda, more precisely, European.
The international security system, since the containment policy of the United States of America against the former Soviet Union, in the early post-war period has influenced the Euro-Atlantic security and defense system. Turkey's accession to the TAN in 1952 was an attempt to reinforce the old British guarantee of security with the new American superpower, but it is important to remember that the criticism of authoritarianism that has pervaded the Turkish state since its founding cannot be ignored. Although rapprochement with the European Union allowed for the elimination of provisions in the 1982 constitution and legislation restricting political and religious rights, these provisions were also the foundations of secularism.
Therefore, the internal transformations were more of an instrumental democratization with a view to the desecularization of the state and opened the door to conservative religious and pro-Islamist authoritarianism. And this is reflected in the policies of the current president of Turkey, Erdogan, who became prime minister in 2003 and president in 2014. He led a conservative Islamist party that promoted liberal economic reforms, but also tightened controls on the media and cracked down on political dissidents. Furthermore, Turkey has become involved in regional conflicts such as in Syria and Iraq. But relations between Erdogan and NATO have been tense, as he has criticized the alliance for not supporting Turkey in its fight against terrorism and for allowing Kurdish groups to establish themselves in Syria. Turkey has also purchased missile defense systems from Russia, which has raised concerns about NATO security. It is a delicate situation that needs to be closely monitored. The electoral dispute was left for the second round, since Erdogan, by very little, failed to reach 50% of the votes, which would give him victory once again. We will keep an eye on these elections to see what will happen. A hug, people.